Every jar of silver polish on the market is slowly destroying the silver it claims to protect. Not dramatically, not in a way you notice from one cleaning session, but every time you apply Wright's silver cream, Goddard's silver polish, or any abrasive silver cleaning product and rub the tarnish away, you are removing a thin layer of actual silver along with it. The tarnish comes off. So does the silver underneath. Do this every month for 20 years, and the fine detail work on antique silverware gradually softens. The hallmarks stamped into the metal become shallower. The surface loses the crisp definition of the original craftsmanship. The silver is being consumed by the process designed to clean it. The silver polish market in the United States generates approximately $500 million per year. The dominant products work by abrasion, polishing compounds that mechanically abrade the tarnished surface to expose bright silver underneath, taking some of the underlying silver with them each time. It is a business model that depends on continued tarnishing, continued abrasion, and the gradual destruction of the object being maintained. There is a method that removes tarnish through chemistry rather than mechanics, transferring the tarnish off the silver and onto a different material entirely, leaving the silver surface intact. It costs nothing if you have aluminum foil and baking soda in the kitchen. It works in 5 minutes, and it has been understood by electrochemists since the 19th century. This is the story of what silver tarnish actually is, why the electrochemical method removes it without touching the silver, and why the chemistry that silver polish manufacturers would prefer you never understand has been sitting in your kitchen the entire time. To understand why the aluminum foil method works, and why it is categorically superior to abrasive polishing, you need to understand what tarnish is at the molecular level. Silver tarnish is silver sulfide. It is formed when silver reacts with hydrogen sulfide gas, a compound present in tiny amounts in ordinary air, produced by decomposing organic matter, certain foods, and combustion products. The chemical reaction converts metallic silver on the surface of the object into silver sulfide, a compound that appears as the dark brown to black coating that most people associate with neglected silverware. Silver sulfide is not a coating sitting on top of the silver. It is a chemical transformation of the silver itself. The silver atoms that form the tarnish were once part of the silver object. The tarnish is made of silver. It is just silver in a different chemical form. This distinction is critical for understanding the difference between abrasive polishing and electrochemical cleaning. Abrasive polishing works by physically removing the tarnished surface layer. The polishing compound scrubs away the silver sulfide. And because silver sulfide is chemically bonded into the surface of the silver object rather than sitting on top of it, removing the silver sulfide means removing the surface layer of the object itself. The silver underneath is exposed and bright, but the total amount of silver in the object is now slightly less than it was before cleaning. Electrochemical cleaning works by reversing the chemical reaction that created the tarnish. Silver sulfide is converted back into metallic silver in place, while the sulfur is transferred to a different material. The silver sulfide molecules are broken down. The silver atoms return to the surface of the object in their original metallic form. The total amount of silver in the object remains unchanged. No silver is lost. No surface is abraded. The tarnish simply ceases to exist as the chemistry reverses. The specific electrochemical reaction that the aluminum foil and baking soda method exploits involves a galvanic cell, the same principle discussed in the context of soil batteries and Volta's original discovery. When silver sulfide and aluminum are placed in contact in an electrolyte solution, the role played by the hot baking soda water, a spontaneous electrochemical reaction occurs driven by the difference in electrode potential between aluminum and silver. Aluminum has a much stronger tendency to react with sulfur than silver does. The thermodynamics strongly favor the transfer of sulfur from silver sulfide to aluminum. When the two metals are in electrical contact through the electrolyte, electrons flow from the aluminum to the silver sulfide. The silver sulfide is reduced. The sulfur atoms are stripped from the silver and transferred to the aluminum surface, where they form aluminum sulfide. The silver atoms are simultaneously released from the silver sulfide compound and deposit back on the surface of the silver object in their original metallic form. The reaction can be observed in real time. Within seconds of placing tarnished silverware in the hot baking soda solution in contact with aluminum foil, you can watch the tarnish disappear from the silver surface. The process produces a faint sulfur smell, the same smell as boiled eggs. As hydrogen sulfide is briefly released during the reaction, the aluminum foil develops a slight yellowish tinge as aluminum sulfide forms on its surface. The baking soda serves as the electrolyte. Dissolved in hot water, It provides the ionic conductivity that allows charge to flow between the aluminum and the silver, enabling the electrochemical reaction to proceed. Hot water is used rather than cold because elevated temperature significantly increases the rate of electrochemical reactions, reducing treatment time from hours to minutes. This reaction does not require any special equipment, any chemicals beyond baking soda, or any mechanical action. The chemistry does the work. You do nothing except wait. The comparison to commercial silver polishes deserves specific examination because the industry has successfully marketed an inferior, destructive approach as the professional standard for silver care. Wright's Silver Cream, one of the most recognizable silver care products in the American market, is an abrasive cream containing fine calcium carbonate particles suspended in a liquid carrier. The calcium carbonate acts as a mild abrasive that mechanically removes the tarnished surface. The product works. It removes tarnish effectively. But it removes silver along with the tarnish, and with each application, the silver object becomes microscopically thinner. For heavily plated silver-plated items where the silver layer over a base metal is already thin, this is particularly consequential. Repeated abrasive polishing of silver-plated pieces eventually wears through the silver layer entirely, exposing the base metal beneath. Once this happens, the silver plating cannot be restored through polishing. Replating is the only option, at a cost significantly higher than any amount of proper electrochemical maintenance would have cost. For sterling silver, objects made of solid silver with no base metal, the tarnish removal is less immediately catastrophic, but still accumulates over time. Fine detail work is the most vulnerable. The raised patterns, the engraved designs, the stamped hallmarks that give antique silverware its character and value are gradually diminished by repeated abrasive cleaning. Museum conservators explicitly prohibit abrasive silver polishes on historic silver objects for precisely this reason. They preserve the silver by using electrochemical methods that do not remove material. Goddard silver polish, Town Talk, and similar products share the same fundamental limitation. They are abrasive. They remove tarnish. They remove silver. They create repeat customers by ensuring that the tarnish returns, because the silver surface is unchanged in its reactivity after abrasive cleaning, and it will tarnish again at the same rate, while also ensuring that the silver object gradually loses its surface detail. The electrochemical method produces a chemically different surface than abrasive polishing. When silver sulfide is reduced back to silver by the aluminum method, the silver atoms that return to the surface have a slightly different crystalline arrangement than the original surface, in some cases producing a very slightly different appearance that some users describe as a warmer, more antique finish compared to the bright mirror polish of abrasively cleaned silver. This is not a deficiency. It is a surface chemistry difference that has no practical consequence and that some collectors prefer. The practical method requires three things that virtually every household already has: a container large enough to hold the silver item being cleaned, a baking dish, a mixing bowl, or the kitchen sink lined with aluminum foil. The container must be non-reactive. Glass, ceramic, or aluminum foil lined are all appropriate. Stainless steel is acceptable. Reactive metals should be avoided. Aluminum foil. Standard kitchen aluminum foil. The foil should be in direct contact with the silver being cleaned throughout the process. Baking soda, approximately 1 tablespoon per liter of water. Hot water, as hot as practical, ideally near boiling. The combination is the electrolyte. Line the container with aluminum foil, shiny side up. Place the tarnished silver items in the container, ensuring that each piece is in direct contact with the aluminum foil. This contact is the electrical connection that allows the electrochemical reaction to proceed. Dissolve the baking soda in the hot water and pour the solution over the silver, ensuring complete submersion. The reaction begins immediately. For light tarnish, it typically completes in 1 to 3 minutes. For heavy tarnish that has been building for years, longer submersion, 5 to 10 minutes, may be needed, and very severe tarnish may require a second treatment with fresh solution. Remove the silver, rinse thoroughly with clean water, and dry immediately and completely with a soft cloth. For silver that cannot be submerged, large serving pieces, items with non-silver components that should not be wetted, the method can be adapted by making a paste of baking soda dissolved in water and applying it to the silver while in contact with aluminum foil. The reaction proceeds more slowly without the ionic conductivity of a full electrolyte bath. But the principle is the same. One important limitation: the electrochemical method is highly effective for silver sulfide tarnish, the brown to black tarnish that forms on silver exposed to normal air. It is less effective for other surface compounds that can form on silver in unusual chemical environments, and it will not restore surface scratches, physical damage, or the appearance of heavily oxidized silver that has been exposed to very corrosive environments. For these conditions, professional conservation is appropriate. Here is the market structure that sustains a $500 million industry for a product that destroys what it cleans. Silver polish manufacturers have invested in brand recognition, retail placement, and the cultural association between physical polishing effort and proper silver care. The act of polishing, applying cream, rubbing, buffing, rinsing, feels like proper maintenance. The effort itself feels like care. And the bright mirror finish that results from abrasive polishing looks dramatic compared to the pre-treatment state. The electrochemical method produces comparable or superior results with no effort beyond waiting, using a container of water and kitchen ingredients. But it looks like doing nothing. There is no product to purchase, no rubbing involved, no satisfying physical act of cleaning. The tarnish disappears by chemistry while the silver sits in a bowl of water. Consumer product psychology strongly favors the approach that involves visible effort and a branded product. The industry understands this. The electrochemical method has been known to silver conservators and professional restorers for generations. It appears in museum conservation literature and in university chemistry textbooks. It has no marketing budget, no retail presence, and no branded product to sell. Museum conservators, the professionals responsible for maintaining irreplaceable historic silver objects, use electrochemical methods and explicitly prohibit abrasive polishes on historic pieces. This professional consensus exists in conservation literature and in the training of museum professionals. It simply has no mechanism to reach the consumer standing in front of a display of silver polishes at the grocery store. Here is the synthesis. Silver tarnish is silver sulfide, a chemical transformation of the silver surface in reaction with atmospheric hydrogen sulfide. Abrasive silver polishes remove tarnish by mechanically abrading the tarnished surface, taking silver with it each time. Electrochemical cleaning reverses the chemical transformation, converting silver sulfide back to metallic silver in place while transferring the sulfur to aluminum. No silver is lost, no surface is abraded, no silver is destroyed. The method costs nothing beyond baking soda and aluminum foil. It takes 5 minutes. It is what museum conservators use on historic silver. It has been understood since the 19th century. $500 million per year in silver polish sales depends on consumers not knowing that their silverware is being slowly consumed by the products cleaning it, and that a free alternative preserves every atom of silver that the abrasive approach removes. The silver in your drawer is not getting older, it is getting thinner. Every polishing session with an abrasive cream removes a layer of silver that cannot be replaced.